Hello everybody, and happy Easter. By the time you see this, the holidays will be over, and that's fine. We're still going to cook together today. I got another new cookbook recently. The Culinary Arts and Traditions of Switzerland. Found it at a thrift store because I love to go thrifting for cookbooks. And I walked around with it and I was like, oh, I don't need it. And then I was like, no, if I pass it up, I'll hate myself. Got it out of the car and my husband and I were flipping through it. And the first thing we came on was something called Spinach Dumplings. And he said, ooh, that sounds like a way I'd eat spinach. And I said, you know what? We're going to have it for Easter dinner. So this book is so awesome. It came out in 1989 by the Nestle Corporation. It still has the loose translation page. And as you saw me using it, the bookmark with the conversion chart. So super impressed for $3.75 with even if I only use it once or twice. So we're going to cook out of it today, and we're going to make spinach dumplings. Now, the first thing you need is cooked spinach, and you need 250 milliliters of it, or grams of it. 250 grams. So fortunately, my package has the conversion on that for me. There's 283 here. We're feeding 3. Looking forward to it, so I'm going to go ahead and cook it all because once it cooks down, we'll get the amount we need. So rather than boil it and make it just blanchy and icky, we're going to saute it in a little bit of olive oil. And I've got 3 cloves of garlic here. I'm going to just start off with 1 and see how much I get with one of my new toys. Found it on clearance, so that makes me very happy. Garlic press, because I love fresh garlic. Just put another one in. Oop. Do it again. And we like a lot of garlic, but we don't want this too garlic forward, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm using my wok because that way I can have more control over sauteing or stir frying the spinach here. We want it to hold together in these dumplings. I'll just dump that whole package in there. And we're just gonna toss it.
This one escaped.
Oh no.
Rolling.
It's cooked down quite a bit, but we still wanted to cook down some more. Added just a little bit more olive oil to coat it off camera, and about a half clove of garlic. All right, the husband and I agree this is pretty well cooked down, so we're going to turn the heat off. Let it finish cooking. And get ready for our next step. All right, ready for our next step, which is making the batter. We have 250 grams of flour, which we looked it up and did the conversion, which is just about 2 cups. So I scooped up 2 cups and then scooped out a tablespoon. We have 200 milliliters of water, which is not quite a cup, and 200 milliliters of milk, again, not quite 1 cup. And then it didn't specify the amount, it just stated salt, pepper, and nutmeg. So we'll just add a skosh, a pinch, and a dab. So we're going to use Betty today. We're going to make this batter. One thing I did forget to tell you is 5 large eggs. Cooking from that cookbook's a little confusing. So we're going to go ahead and start with 5 eggs. We'll just crack them in there, so that way you can make sure nothing's wrong with them. Didn't color any eggs for Easter this year because for the price of them, nope, didn't hide them. Bought the son a chocolate Easter bunny and white chocolate and cookies and cream or whatever it was, and he enjoyed the ears right away, just like any kid. Next, we're going to add the 250 grams of flour. We're going to add our 200 milliliters of water, our 200 milliliters of milk, and then it said nutmeg, salt, and pepper. So, bring that back up. Take a pinch of nutmeg, and that smells good. Dash of salt. And pepper till I sneeze. Or maybe not really. Now put the paddle attachment back on, lock it in place, and start it on low. We just let that get all good and gooey and incorporated until it makes a batter. I got it going on medium. Want to get all the lumps out. It doesn't specify anything about what consistency your batter should be, so I'm kind of going for like a beer batter breading maybe. It smells really good though. You can smell that pinch of nutmeg. Be sure you have a rubber spatula on hand because as with any kind of batter or mixture, you want to scrape down the side of your bowl. Looking kind of frothy. Not very thick at the bottom. It's not thick at all at the bottom anymore. So I think we can move on to the next step. All right, we got our batter sitting over there waiting to go. And the next thing you're supposed to do is brown breadcrumbs in how many grams of butter? 100 grams of butter, which is about 7 tablespoons. But if you're going to open a stick of butter to use 7 tablespoons, you might as well use all 8. So, got my big pan here. Got my heat on high right now. I'm going to melt this butter. We have a 227 gram can, which is 8 ounces, of plain panko breadcrumbs. And it calls for a little 250 grams. So we added 2 tablespoons to get that equivalent out of another can. So we got our breadcrumbs. We got our butter. Let's get it melty here. Go ahead and toss these in here. More garbaggio. And you just stir them around till they brown. Keep letting your butter melt underneath there, and this is just a keep watching it process. Probably should have let the butter melt a little bit more, but I'm impatient. Alrighty, that was not enough butter to make me satisfied enough to scratch my Teflon, so I had Eric melt me 2 more tablespoons of butter in the microwave. We're going to add it to the top there and then see if that helps coat things just a little bit better. These bad boys are probably close to ready. Now what you do next is incorporate these into the batter. Or is that last? Let's check the cookbook and find out what's next. But we'll turn these off the heat and let them sit for just a minute while we do that. All right, we have our spinach that we cooked in olive oil and garlic. We sauteed it, and now we've got our breadcrumbs browned in butter. Now you needed a 1/2 ounce of chopped parsley and a 1/2 ounce of chopped chives. I'm cheating. They're not fresh, but they'll work. And the goal now is to combine this all together. So the first thing I'm going to do is put these guys in here. Now I'll give that a toss. Get the chives and parsley incorporated in the breadcrumbs good. Then we're going to add our cooked spinach. Now it's yummy glory. Oh God, that smells so good.
Garlic.
So, all right. That's about as incorporated as I want to get it without stirring up these breadcrumbs too much more in my nonstick pan. This has to go in the batter anyway, so it's going to get all sorts of mixed up. So why don't we take it over there and let's add it all together.
Okay. Go.
All right, we have our batter ready, which smells heavenly. And our spinach breadcrumb mix together. Now we're just gonna scoop it up and add it in the batter. Let's give this a start it by hand. And then we'll slip the paddle attachment back on Betty here.
You think a dough hook would be better?
We want to mix it. Ooh, these gonna be good. That looks kind of gross right now, but the smell of it is just really amazing. All right. That is nice and gooey. Cube. And this needs to now rest for an hour. So we're going to let that do that thing. And I'm going to get our ham ready to go and our hash brown casserole in the oven. Bet you didn't know we were gone. It's been an hour. I have the ham in the oven with my red eye glaze on it. I have a hash brown casserole in the oven, and I have a small pan of carrots in the same glaze that the ham is in, cooking in there all together. And we are getting ready to put together the spinach dumplings so that we can boil them and have them ready to go too. First thing we're going to do is fill up a pot with water. This one is a 16 cup pot, so I'm going to fill it to probably the 12 cup mark. So we're going to turn that on high. Let that boil. Needs to be salted, so that looks good. Now we'll go over to the dumplings. I already made a test one to see how this was going to work out, because it's like, do I make them and boil them or make them as I'm boiling them? But these are going to hold together. I lined a baking sheet with parchment paper, took a big spoon, just take a big scoop, put it in your hand. Rub it gently, roll it together gently, almost like it's hot. That way it won't stick too bad to you. My hands are getting sticky, so I'm going to wipe them off on my towel. Bonus points to my followers if anybody knows where, always know where your towel is, comes from. That will, yes, clue you into I'm a science fiction geek. I like the paranormal. Be sure to, if you like the paranormal, I have a friend, Jen, the Shadow Sanctuary, here on YouTube, new podcast. Go over and give her a listen. She's got some historical information about some haunted places. And all us newbies got to stick together, right? Just like Island City Fishing. My husband behind the camera. When he's not doing this for me, he's out doing what he loves. Catching the big fish that I turn into tasty dishes like one of my most recent videos, mustard crappie. All right, we're almost out of dough. We're definitely out of room. Excuse me, batter. Gooey spinach dumpling stuff is what we're almost out of. So I'm gonna wash my hands and we're gonna get these puppies going. Now, honestly, this part may be the most complicated for somebody, but to me it seems like the simplest. All you do is lower them into the water gently so you don't splash and boil yourself, and boil them till they float. One, two, don't crowd them. 3, 4. I think I can get 5 in there. Okay, so this recipe does call for something that we had obviously never heard of before, never having traveled to Switzerland or having any Swiss in our descent that we know of. It called for Sprinz cheese, S-B-R-I-N-Z. There's a picture of it in the back. It looks like a hard cheese, so we looked it up. It is the hardest of the Swiss cheeses. We weren't going to spend hours going into Chicago or another big city to try to find it. So we Googled what the next best thing could possibly be, and it said the next best thing is Romano. So we got some home-style grated Parmesan Romano here in the jar that we're going to use as our Sprinz cheese for garnish. There's another floater. We got 2 pulled out so far. Pull them out carefully with my neat little stick I got at a craft fair. I think these are all floating now. I need to add some more water. That looks like it's boiled down pretty far. And last one. There we go. Add some cheese. Each one got a good coating. Go back. If you like cheese in our family, it is the hat of foods. And sprinkle some more. There you go. Spinach dumplings. All right, everybody, our Easter meal is ready. We have a honey ham that I made a red eye glaze for. We have hash brown casserole and the star of the show, spinach dumplings. Once again, everybody, I'm Michelle with 1L, and this is Bakes by Vasco. I appreciate you tuning in today, and I hope you'll hit like and subscribe. I'm going to go enjoy my dinner with my family, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time when who knows what we'll do.